What is going on, everyone? You are listening to the Antonio Chaurand Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Antonio Chaurand, and I am joined here today by the one and only Alex Chaurand, my brother. Alex, thank you for joining.
Such a pleasure being here. Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. You sound very professional there saying
Sure do.
that.
Sure do.
Okay. So, this is your first podcast,
It
right?
is. Yes. Since
How do you
you and
feel?
I feel great since we did this podcast with Ray Tuesday night. It was you, me, my dad, and Dia Ramona. We felt very pleased about it. And now seeing you
Yes.
doing this podcast means so joy to all of us. And it's great for what you've been doing. And I'm looking forward to this episode coming tonight.
Alex alluded to that podcast that we did with Ray Collazo on Bomba Live. It was on YouTube Live
Yes, it
on
was.
Tuesday, this past Tuesday,
Mhm.
February 4th. And
The
it was
fourth.
it was a good episode. I broke down just my keys on what I think we should be looking out for this game. Gave a prediction. Alex did not give his prediction. We'll do that at the end. We'll give our predictions at the end of the episode.
That
But
sounds like a good idea.
I think you can assume who we will pick, but we are going to break down some really key pieces to this game. We'll get a little bit more in depth than we did on the show, but go check out Bomba Live. Rick Oyaso does a lot of good stuff there, not just sports. He talks, you know, pop culture, politics. He does it all, and that Puerto Rican background that definitely range true in all of his content. So definitely go check it out there. Again, Ray, thank you for having us on. I appreciate it. Um, all right, Alex. So let's go over just some important keys here for this Super Bowl game. What are some things that you are thinking about that we should really keep in mind and really look out for this game?
All right, good question. So what we can expect is seeing how both teams are going to try the best they can and to see which player is going to get the best offense or defense to see if they can go for the big dub Sunday night.
Hmm.
And I'm assuming Philadelphia's got a great defense and offense because you got Saquon Barkley, who is one of the greatest running backs, and he used to be with the Giants and now he's been with Philly, and so far he's had a good season with the Eagles, and I'm assuming they're going to get a good shot to see if they can go for the win Sunday night for revenge.
Hmm. So, would you say that some keys on the Philadelphia side, if they were going to win, would be Saquon? You think that's a big piece for them?
I think so. If possible, they can't turn the ball over, which no turnovers for them, or they can't
Mm.
let Patrick Mahomes run too many yards, or they can stop them. Or I think Saquon Barkley's going to have a big game, I can tell you right now, because he has over 2,000 rushing yards so far that he's been doing so far. And I'm assuming they got a good effort to see what they can do Sunday night against the Chiefs.
I hope he doesn't have a big game, but I think it is very possible that Saquon does have a good game. Here's something, though, that is interesting that I think everyone should keep in mind. Two things.
Go ahead.
Turnovers.
Mhm.
When it comes to both quarterbacks, whether if it's Patrick Mahomes or Jalen Hurts, neither one of them have turned over the ball, specifically thrown an interception since November. So they have been very good at not turning the ball over. Obviously, Pat had that fumble in the Bills game, which was his only mistake in that game. Other than that, he played an amazing game. But neither quarterback has thrown an interception since November, and they are both, very good with not just making big plays, but not making mistakes in giving the ball over to the other team. So that's one thing that you have to keep in mind. The second thing is to your Saquon point, alluding that he may potentially have a good game. Steve Spagnuolo hasn't allowed he hasn't allowed in these past 24 games, except for one, 100-yard rusher. So like 100 rushing yards from a team total has been allowed, but from one person, I believe is the stat that I'm saying it correctly. He hasn't allowed a single rusher to run for over 100 yards in all but one game in his past 24 games in the playoffs. So I And that doesn't just go with the Chiefs. That goes even further back when he was the DC with the New York Giants.
Yes.
So I think because that's the case, I feel very confident that yes, Saquon is definitely going to have his fingerprints all over this game. Because if they don't, if he doesn't, I don't think Philly's going to win this game. Uh,
Well,
go ahead.
I'm just making a quick statement of how Saquon is. I think he's really good, but if he gets the dub the exact same day, the day on his birthday, if he
It
wins it,
is.
this will be the best birthday if he wins it Sunday night. But I think he's gonna have a good game. I'm just making that as a quick statement for
And
Philadelphia.
Cooper, I think Cooper DeJean as well. I think they both have the same birthday, February 9th. Also, our dad's birthday, February 9th.
Yes, our
Happy
dad
early
too.
birthday,
Yeah.
Papa.
Yes.
Um, so just yeah, it's a very popular date to be popping babies out.
Yeah, I
Anyways,
know. You have a good point.
I do. So, okay, let's flip over to the Chiefs side for
Yes,
key points.
our team right
Yes,
here.
I see. Did I get you that jersey or did you? No, you bought it yourself.
I bought myself this jersey last year.
That's right.
'Cause
I do.
I
I do
always
remember
wanted
that.
this because this. So when you came over, it's like this jersey is dope, and that's I wanted this black color, so that's dope.
Yes, it is a dope jersey. I really like it. Um, so let's flip over to the Chiefs here. Some key things that we need to think about. I talked about this a little bit with the podcast that I was on with Ray. Um, I'm really interested to see how Travis Kelce is utilized in this game.
Hmm.
I feel like with Travis Kelce, he is such an X factor because no matter how old he is, no matter, you know, how many miles those tires got on him, he is still one of the most effective players in the entire game, not just on the Chiefs side. So, and I said this on Tuesday. However, Travis is utilized in this game, it's going to be um, strategic. Like if he doesn't have many catches or many balls thrown his way, I feel like that's more so because that's in the game plan in comparison to the Eagles defense doing that and causing that. You know what I mean?
Hmm. Yeah.
So I feel like because that's going to be the case, I'm really interested to see, just out of the gate, what we do. Are we going to get Hollywood Brown and DeAndre
Pacheco,
Hopkins involved? Are we going to, yeah, is Pacheco, is he going to have a big game? He's probably going to be the number two back, I
and
think, behind
also
Kareem Hunt.
not to mention the fast wide receiver from Texas, Xavier Worthy, thinking he's gonna get his first ring.
That's right. I'm very confident that he will get his first ring because,
He's the
I
fast.
mean, I can't compare him in terms of the type of player he is to Rashee Rice, but I can compare him to the fact that Rashee last year, you saw him really develop a lot throughout the season, and a lot of that was due to the fact that, I mean, let's be honest, our wide receiver room last year wasn't anything to behold. Like it wasn't very good. And so he became the star guy and he became the guy that became Pat's go-to. And aside from Kelsey. So I think because that was the case, he elevated his play that much more and as a rookie. And here is Xavier Worthy a season after as a rookie doing the exact same thing. Now their games are very different, but well, actually they're not too different. I mean, I see Xavier Worthy. Obviously, he's a road runner, but he doesn't just run, like in a straight line, hoping to just take the defense over the top. Like there's been more validity and there's more depth to his games and his route. Um, Whereas with Rashee Rice, I feel like he's a real, like he can get a lot of balls thrown his way. I just feel like with the route tree, he is so good and diverse in running any route. He's not just a guy that can take the defensive top off, you know?
Mhm. Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so where I see the similarities is wanting them to be such an integral part of the offense so early on. And because of that, and because of how good Andy Reid is and how good Patrick Mahomes is, they're able to do that. So I'm really excited to see how we utilize him. Um, to me, though, again, it all just kind of goes back to Kelsey. I'm really curious just to see how we're going to utilize him because he doesn't need to have a big game. He doesn't need to have 8 or 9 receptions for 80, 90 yards for us to win. Um, I'm excited to see how that's going to go. And I'm very optimistic about our defense. I mean, everyone is talking about this high flying offense that Philly has. I understand that. But at the same time, I feel like there were games that they went through all the way from the NFC with Green Bay. Obviously, that was a 22-10 ball game. I mean, they didn't look great offensively against Green Bay, and then they could have lost that Rams game, let's be honest. And then obviously they blew out Washington, but there were different points in that game where they could have lost. Where, or I say lost, obviously it was a 30-point margin, but at the same time, there were different points in that game where Washington could have gotten back into it, but they hurt themselves. Self-inflicted wounds that kept them from winning that game, so or even getting back into it. So when I look at that compared to our run, yeah, obviously, I mean the Bills, it always comes down to the wire, but I feel like that Bills team is better than the Rams, than Washington, than Green Bay, right? So I don't know. I just feel like we've been more convincing in that sense. So I'm very optimistic with how our defense is going to look going forward. So let's go to the what if game.
Yes. Let's
In
go.
your opinion, Alessandro,
Yes,
if
brother.
the Chiefs win this game, do you think we're a dynasty?
I think we're going to be a dynasty because I believe, think about the throwback. When some of the teams like the Cowboys went for a three-peat, they usually had an attempt for doing that. But if the Chiefs, we're like 4 Super Bowls right now where we are. But if we get our fifth one, we'll be tying up with San Francisco and Dallas to see
Hmm.
because we'll be tying up with them. And I'm like, the people are gonna say if the Chiefs win the Super Bowl, they'll be blowing their minds out. Like this is literally the Patriots era for the Chiefs. That's what most people are trying to say right now. And I think we will be the dynasty in the greatest history in the NFL.
I agree. I agree. I mean, you think about those other teams that won back to back. The Cowboys, like you said, they won back to back in the 90s and they couldn't make it back to three-peat.
Oh, and
Um,
also not to mention the Patriots from 2003 until 2004.
that's right. Yeah, and they got knocked out, I think, in the divisional round
In
or something
2000,
like that.
in 2006, and then 2007 in the championship game against Indianapolis.
Yeah. So think about the most recent run though that New England went on, where they won 3 Super Bowls in 5 years. They won, lost, won, didn't make it, and then won. So something to that effect.
Yeah, it was from 2017 to 2019 when the Patriots attempted to go for that back-to-back, but they came up short against Philadelphia in 2018, and then they came back in 2017 against Atlanta, which is literally the craziest
28
one
to
of.
3.
Yeah, that's crazy. And then not to mention blowing out LAR against in 2019 in
Yeah,
the
they
Super
played the
Bowl.
Rams. Yeah.
And then Brady's last game playoff was literally Tampa. Let's stick with the Patriots. So for the Patriots, the last time he played on it before he moved to Tampa was Titans coming
And they
back.
lost that game.
Yeah, and they came back in the wild card round. And then 2020 when he won the Super Bowl again in the seventh one, and then the year after they lost to the Rams in the divisional round in 2022. I think it was 2022.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Well, you brought up 2 points there.
mhm.
1 point, because this is actually, the second or the question that follows this one. I agree. I think the Chiefs are a dynasty without a doubt if we win this Super Bowl.
Mhm.
Um, to your point about Brady, obviously he won 6 with New England, and then he won 7, his seventh one when he went to Tampa. He what? When he was 42,
Yeah, he's
43 when he won his seventh ring. He retired like actually he may have been like 43. So he retired when he was like 45 years old. But my what I'm getting at is Patrick Mahomes has the chance. to not only start the conversation that he could be the greatest player, the greatest quarterback ever, but the pace that he's on to catch Brady is astounding. He's not even 30 years old yet.
He's only
And
29.
he could have four Super Bowls already. He'll already yeah, I mean the guy is just unstoppable. I mean, Joe Montana, everyone before, and I've been hearing because of all the, Mahomes being compared to Brady. Before Brady was Brady, Joe Montana was the guy. He was 4-0 in the Super Bowl, you know, um, and he seemed untouchable. But then Brady came along, and here we are. But I mean, the fact that Mahomes is on this pace already, if he wins. This will be his fifth Super Bowl. He'll be 4-1 in the Super Bowl if he wins it. Brady is what, 7-3,
He
something like
lost.
that.
Yeah, I think so. He lost against the Giants,
Hmm. Twice.
Philadelphia, yeah, twice in 2008, 2012, and then 2018.
Yeah.
So think about
So
the throwback, the 2007, 2008 Patriots season. They were undefeated, and then they were the number one seed, and then the New York Giants came back and then won the Super Bowl in 2008. And then the last play that Brady did, they thought it was a pass interference or a face mask, but they didn't call it. Times ran out, and then the Giants won the Super Bowl, and that's it. And then the rematch in 2012, Brady was going to go for that win with that Hail Mary, but they didn't make any contract with the ball. So it was an incomplete pass,
contact.
and then the Giants won again in 2012. So there you go.
So let's go back to the whole dynasty thing
Mhm.
really quickly. Yes, if the Chiefs win, we are 100% a dynasty. Um, because obviously that'll be our fourth championship.
Actually, our fifth.
Well, in this stretch of time. It'll be our fourth championship in 5 years. Um, and that's just something that, it doesn't happen very often, you know? Um, is that right? In 5 years? Yeah, yeah, that's
Yeah.
correct. Um, so here's my thing. Actually, no,
Actually, it's six
in
years.
6 years. Yeah, because we beat the Niners, went
The
back,
Eagle,
lost to Tampa, and then we lost to the Bengals in the AFC Championship game.
and then 23, we beat Philadelphia.
Then we
And
beat Philly, and then we beat the Niners again, and then we will, in my opinion, beat Philly again.
yes,
So our fourth Super Bowl in 6 years. Well, I don't just think about the wins when it comes to a dynasty. I think about the teams that you've beaten to get there. You know what I mean? Like there are
Mhm.
so many. I mean, Alex, how many times did we hear last year about the Ravens that they were going to win?
A billion.
Everybody did.
That's what America is hoping for. They want America, like for example, if the rematch of the AFC Championship game against let me try and check. Bengals against Kansas City. I think the Bengals are going to win. That's what America is hoping right now. And then for right now, where we are right now, I think America is wanting the Eagles. They're going to win. They want America
Mhm.
voting for the Eagles to win Super Bowl 59 so they can get their second Super Bowl win. That's what America
America,
is.
yes, to your point, America wanted the Bengals to beat us. They wanted the Bills to beat us. They wanted the Ravens to beat us. And any team that we played in the Super Bowl. I mean, the last time where I felt like people wanted us to win was when we
Again,
played the Patriots back in the AFC
2009,
Championship game
2019.
in 29. I feel like that was the last time where people were like, we want the Chiefs to win, like the masses. And now here we are where everyone wants us to lose. And I, you know, it's how Patriots fans must have felt like for so long. It's how Warriors fans in basketball felt like for so long.
Yeah, Warriors.
Um,
Yeah, let me add in
yeah.
one quick quote. Think about the Warriors winning back-to-back NBA titles, and of course, not to mention Miami going back-to-back as well.
Hmm.
Well, not to mention the Yankees going for the three-peat from 1997 until 2000. And I thought they were going to go for the four-peat, but they came up short against Arizona in
Hmm.
2001.
That's right. To your point, it's really hard to win back to back to back. It's hard to three-peat. I mean, it's never been done in football, but to your point, bringing up those other examples, it's happened in basketball. It's happened in baseball. But with football, it's never happened before. So I think the fact that you add that context to it and are like, this is something that a team has never done before. And on top of that, we also have another Super Bowl to notch on in this 6 year time span if we win on Sunday. I
Mhm.
just feel like it's indisputable. So, but we'll talk about Patrick Mahomes real quick and then we'll get on to the next question. I feel like with Mahomes, if he wins this game, I mean, I feel like he's already above everybody else, right?
Yes, he is.
But I think if anyone even tries to make an attempt to compare him to a Josh Allen, a Lamar Jackson, a Joe Burrow, I feel like that's just ludicrous. I mean, it's you just can't because people can say that he's had a bad regular season, a lackluster regular season. At the end of the day, the guy wins freaking football games. Okay? He does.
Mhm.
Sorry he didn't have his first season as a starter throwing 5,000 yards and 50 touchdowns. That doesn't happen every season, which should make you appreciate that much more what that season was because that doesn't happen. He made it seem like it can happen normally because the way he did it was just such with ease. And so the fact that no one has been able to recreate that type of season since then should tell you just how phenomenal it was, you know? And so, again, he makes the plays when he needs to. He's adjusted his game to how the Chiefs are now. Like when he threw all those touchdown passes, and that's when we still had Tyreek Hill. That's
Yeah,
when we had a
exactly.
rookie. That's when we had a rookie Kareem Hunt. That's when our defense sucked. So we had to throw all over the yard.
Mhm.
That's not the team anymore. And I feel like people forget that. We have an amazing and elite defense now, led by the best defensive coordinator in the entire league,
Yeah,
and Steve
exactly.
Spagnuolo.
Hmm.
So, you know, I'm sorry that Pat isn't throwing 300-yard games every game. He doesn't need to because that's at this point, I just want to win.
Yeah, I would.
I would I'm fine equally winning a game 17 to 13 than 34 to 31, you know? So I just feel like it's a type of style of play that people just don't want to see. But at the end of the day, if that's what's gonna get us championship games, I don't give a shit how it looks. At the end of the day, I want to win. You know
I
what I
don't
mean?
either, too. Yeah, I'm with you, brother. I'm with you.
So another person that I feel like we should talk about is Andy Reid.
Yes, that him.
So what do you think the Super Bowl would do to Andy Reid's legacy if we
Okay,
were to win?
yeah. So Randy, I think I believe this is his sixth he's won Super Bowl 2005,
Is
2020.
this will be a sixth Super Bowl appearance?
Yes, six. So what I would say to Andy, he's literally gonna see what he can do for the Chiefs for the offense. Like for example, if he has some of the things like the markers, like the things that you check on when you try and do that play right there, that's literally him being Andy Reid right here. Because I would say to him, he's literally one of the greatest coaches in NFL history. Since he's been with the Eagles for a while now, he moved to the Chiefs in 2013. And I would say to him, he can literally become the greatest coach of all, high above what he's been doing with the Eagles recently, but now he's with the Chiefs that he can become way higher than he was before.
Hmm. All valid points. All very valid points. And something too that I feel like I thought I took a photo of it, but Aha. Here's an interesting stat that I saw on First Things First, where people are talking about obviously the success that an Andy Reid or Bill Belichick have had with their star quarterbacks. But what about when they don't have their star quarterbacks? Let me explain. Bill Belichick's regular season record without Tom Brady is 83 and 101, which
Mhm.
is below 500. Andy Reid, his record without Patrick Mahomes, 184, 123 and 1. Well over 500.
That is literally the craziest thing that Andy has
Well,
done.
that's a lot of games,
Yes.
first off. Um, Playoff appearances without Mahomes. Andy Reid has 13. Bill Belichick has 2 without Brady. And their playoff records, Bill Belichick is 1 and 2, and Andy Reid is 11 and 13. And Bill Belichick has 0 Super Bowl appearances, and Andy Reid has 1. So I bring all of that up to say that yes, a lot of their success was with their star quarterbacks. Bill Belichick won 6 rings as a head coach with Tom Brady. He was able to build the Patriots dynasty with Tom Brady. Andy Reid is doing the exact same thing with Patrick Mahomes, and
So
he has
far,
seen success with Mahomes that he hasn't with anyone else.
yep, so far he has three Super Bowl rings, and same for Mahomes and Kelsey and Chris Jones as well.
Mhm. And so I feel like Andy would need to win one more. If we win this Sunday, I feel like to really, in my opinion, I think if to really say that he was a better head coach than Bill Belichick, I want to see him win one more ring. So that Bill Belichick ended with 6, Andy has 5. But you also have all of that other stuff outside of it.
Hmm. I would agree to that.
Yeah. I mean, both totally different style of coaches. Andy Reid is more of a progressive coach, throwing the ball, more aggressive on the offensive side. He's an offensive mind, whereas Bill Belichick was more defensive minded. But I mean, just the stuff that Andy Reid is able to do, the way that he's able to mold players, and I feel like with Bill Belichick, what kind of gave him that little notch was obviously the wins, but crafting this Patriot way. And it was a mentality of winning, winning, winning.
Yes.
Whereas I feel like with Andy Reid, you can say the same thing with him. Is like you want to say the Chiefs mentality, the Chiefs charisma. I don't know whatever you want to say, but he's doing the same thing with Kansas City now. So and people forget before Mahomes. I mean, obviously we had Alex Smith. We had won 2 games the season before we hired Andy Reid as our head coach. 2 games. And then we turn around and we win, was it 9? That next season? Off rip. He was turning things around. So, obviously he was successful without Patrick Mahomes, but Patrick Mahomes, as soon as he got there, took him over the top.
Mhm.
And so I think people need to give some more love to Andy Reid in that respect because he clearly has the resume of arguably being the best head coach of all time. So I will leave it there. And then the last thing here, Alex, give a Super Bowl score prediction and why you think it'll be that score.
Okay, so my score prediction will be 31 to 28 Kansas City with a game-winning field goal, just like they did
Hmm.
at Super Bowl 57, since it was 11 seconds in the fourth quarter and it was 8 seconds. So maybe like 4 seconds, maybe like 5 or 6, or if they can come closer to the end zone, like a 30 yard field goal, and then And then boom, there it is. A game-winning field goal for Harrison Bucker, like they did in Super Bowl 57.
All right. I like that. I think it'll also be a field goal difference. I think it's going to be 26 to 23. I think it'll be a little bit more lower scoring, but our scores aren't too far from each other. I think we're what, like 5 points apart.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think it's going to be a close game. I I mean, this will be the best. I think this might be the best team we've played all year.
Yeah,
I think we're the best team that the Eagles have played all year.
I could agree to that. Or it could be like 29 to 26 if we block an Eagles field goal or by a missed field goal. Just like remember week thinking it was week 9 against Denver where the last minute
Yeah,
field goal we kind of blocked it.
Chanel. Yeah, he
Yeah,
blocked
we
it. That hey, that is definitely in the cards. I think special teams are going to be an important part of this game. I think we have the upper hand on the special team side, for sure. Like
mhm.
we can block, we could have a big punt or kick return. You never know.
Yeah, just like
Um,
there it's Tony in Super Bowl 57 as literally
yeah.
the greatest, literally the longest punt return in Super Bowl history that they've been doing all year.
Hey, Nico Remigio, he could have a good return that, changes the game. So
Yeah, I could agree to that.
very optimistic. So,
Hmm.
okay, cool. Well, Alex, thank you for joining. Greatly appreciate it. Got
Thank
to
you,
have you
brother.
back on. Do you have any social media that you would like people to follow you at?
All right, so if you want to see some fun Chiefs memes and funny NFL memes, be sure to follow me on Instagram at Alex Chaurand on Instagram, and I'm also on Threads and TikTok as well.
Same handle, Alex Chaurand,
Mhm.
and that is spelled Alexchaurand. For
Yes.
those of you who do not know how to spell Chaurand, it's not a very common last name, so I can't really blame you there. Yeah, his memes are hilarious. Yeah, what's the most views you've gotten on
It
a
was
reel?
it was undefeated season against when we beat the Raiders 7-0. Literally the most popular one on my Instagram, almost at 2 million views, which is literally crazy.
Dang, dude.
I'm at 1.9 million right now. So over 58,000 people liked it. We got some pretty good comments down there too.
How many comments?
Over like 2025-ish. I don't know.
2025 is something slight,
And I also make fun memes with the Cowboys every time when they choke, or some teams that choke in the playoffs, they get viral as well.
There you go. There you go. Okay, cool. Yeah, go check him out. His stuff is really funny. Um,
Instagram, Threads, and TikTok, where you can find all the funny memes that you can find on there.
There you go. There you go. Well, we'll leave it there. Chiefs are going to win it. We don't know the exact score. I say 26-23. Alex says 31 to 28. But you know what? Who knows? All we know, Chiefs are going to get this dub. We feel very confident about that. And hoping to be lifting a Lombardi this coming Sunday and being the first NFL team ever
In
to three-peat
history.
in history. There we go. Alrighty, guys. Well, we will leave it there. Thank you all for listening and tuning in. Greatly appreciate it. Catch you all next time. Peace.
Thank you, everybody.